The opinions and recommendations expressed by Dan are his own and do not necessarily represent the opinions of this station or any of the show's sponsors.
Welcome back, American Family Radio Network, Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia. It's great to be here. 866-300-9298. Where I've got some, there's a lot coming out on the Keystone Pipeline. What I did was last night I read, I guess it was this morning, I read the report on the environmental report. I actually read it, and I read it, went through it. And then I had an opportunity to look at the president's rebuttal to that. Now, I'm not going to get into the detail of all of it. I'm going to probably write an article on it here this week. But here's what's interesting. This is twice now. There's probably more than that. But you remember the Simpson-Bowles Commission. And if you remember that, and you were listening to me back then or watching me back then, when the president appointed this special committee or commission to look at the problems, I was very critical. I said, really? You don't know what the problem is? The problem is we've got too much debt and you're spending too much. That's the problem. And I was very critical. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You're going to put together a panel of 10 people, of which Simpson and Bowles were co-chairman of, and you're going to try to do a study of what's wrong? So anyway, I was very critical of it. Then the report from the Simpson-Bowles Commission came out. And I read the report. And I said, wow, I first have to, and I did, publicly apologize to the president because, I criticized him putting together this commission. I thought it was a joke. And I'm reading it, and it's right on the money. There were some things in it I don't like, but there were some things that were great things. Now, at the time of my apology, I was assuming that this is the president's commission. He surely is going to follow what the commission says, right? So I was feeling pretty good. I was like, wow, came up with a great plan. It'll work. I feel really good about it. Yeah, there's a couple things I don't like, but I can suck it up and like it because it was addressing the debt issue of the country and was going to start to put us on some solid footing. I really liked it. I thought it was a great idea. Well, it was, except the president didn't want anything to do with it. It was his own commission. Didn't want anything to do with it. So much for that. Well, he wants to put together a commission to look at the environmental impact of the Keystone Pipeline before any decision is made. Puts it together. It comes out. And basically what it's saying is no environmental impact. So surely he's going to approve it, right? Not so fast. Doesn't matter if it's his commission. It didn't say what he wanted it to say. So I don't know. I could go on about it, but I'm telling you, it is just it's unbelievable. Why do the whole commission thing? Just say, hey, I don't want this. I'm not going to do it. You can't get reelected anyway, right? Or can he? But anyway, you can't get reelected again. So what's the difference? You're worrying about your Hollywood elite? I mean, really? You're worrying about the Sierra Club and what they think when they don't have any evidence to back up what they're saying? Oh, well. Let me go back to the phones. Let me go to Betty. Betty calling us from Arkansas. Hi, Betty.
Good morning. Love your show.
Thank you, Betty.
Yes. I wanted to ask you about investing in foreign money, specifically Canadian or New Zealand money, and also I have family members who bought dinar, and I just wanted to get your take on that, and then I have one more question.
Okay. Well, it depends on why you're buying the foreign currency. If you're buying it to become a currency trader, where you're trying to make money and you're going to buy it today, sell it tomorrow, and those kinds of things, I don't think it's a good idea. No. But if you're buying it for a little bit of protection, I like the idea. I've done it myself. I don't do it anymore because I don't need to. But I bought it, years ago. And I wouldn't buy the Canadian. I like the Canadian currency. It's a little bit stronger than ours, but I wouldn't buy Canadian. I own some, but the point there is that if anything happens to us, there's going to be a contagion effect to the Canadian dollar that, because they're so close to us, it's going to be almost unavoidable. So I wouldn't do that. But I like the New Zealand dollar a whole lot. I particularly like it this week. It has been down dramatically, and it is still down, and I believe that it's going to go through a strong recovery as currencies go, and I think it's a real good currency. So I like New Zealand, and I still like the Swiss franc. So the Swiss franc's not going to have a whole lot of gain, but it's going to be very widely recognized if there is a currency crisis and a problem here in America. The Swiss franc's going to be easily recognized by everybody. Hopefully the New Zealand dollar will be too, but they're both two currencies I like. The Iraqi dinar, just stay away from it. It's not going to happen like everybody says it's going to happen. I hate to say that. I know that's what they all believe. It's going to get revalued. It is not going to revalue dollar for dollar. It is extremely unlikely. Is it a possibility? Remote possibility. Isn't going to happen. If they do, they will immediately get rated junk. They won't have any full faith and credit, and they'll have a worthless fiat currency just like they do now. So they're not going to do that. It's not going to happen. Don't. I mean, if you think I'm wrong and you want to throw a couple $100 at it in case I am wrong, that's fine. But I would be prepared to lose that couple $100.
Okay. I guess another question about if we do buy Swiss francs, then when you need them exchanged and everything is better, more stable after whatever we've gone through, will our banks be able to just trade that out then?
Well, you should have a bank near you that's going to do it. But if they don't, then you'll be able to just trade it out anywhere. I mean, you could go to an airport and trade it out at at one of those currency things, which I wouldn't recommend, but you could do that. Or you could go to, a bank, any bank, should gladly do it for you. But if they don't, some of the foreign-owned, the USB banks and the Credit Suisse banks, which there aren't, I don't know. I know there's one in Houston, but you won't have any trouble trading that out.
Okay. And my other question is about, I know you suggested taking 401k and putting it in an IRA and perhaps investing in Exxon and Phillips Oil.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still a good recommendation?
So I've used those names. I have to stop doing this, but I make the mistake of when I talk to somebody, I use the same names all the time on companies as examples. I say like ConocoPhillips or like ExxonMobil or something. So keep in mind, ConocoPhillips happens to be on my buy list right now, but ExxonMobil is not. So it depends. I mean, I want some, when I say move your 401k, so you're left the company, you're out of the company now, you have it sitting over there in your company 401k that you've left, then you should roll that over into an IRA. So if you're still working for the company, you probably can't do that. You want to continue to contribute to it, particularly if you're getting a match. So I only say that as you're retired and you got to roll that 401k somewhere, you should roll it into an IRA that you can control a little bit and have opportunities to buy some individual stocks.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Betty. Thank you for the call. Great stuff. I appreciate it. Let me go to, how much time do we have first? Let me go to Hoot in Texas. Hoot?
Yes, sir.
How are you? Go ahead.
Well, welcome to the state of Texas out in the oil fields of West Texas. I'm committing an unpardonable sin against the environment this morning.
Well, that's it depends on who you're saying unpardonable to. It's so
I'm to do a big frac job out here on well. I'm on the job right now. But what I wanted to talk to you about, here a few years or so ago, I sold some oil properties.
Mm-hmm.
And went ahead and paid cash for a house in town.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed a notice in the sheriff's sale that a place was fixing to come up with irrigated land, 32 acres.
Okay.
So I put in for a reverse for mortgage and made a bid of $30,000 on it and got it.
Okay. I
leased it to the tenant that had it for $100 an acre, and he come to me the other day and wanted to lease it for 2 years, back to back. Next year, or this year, is $105 an acre, and next year, $110. Anyhow, having a survey done and a title opinion, I had to dip into my savings for rainy day.
Okay.
And I'm replacing it back. So I bought another 8 acres. Next to it is upland that's not farmable, and I've built 10 horse stalls on it and got them rented out for $45 a month, and 2 storage for older RVs, and I get $60 a month for them.
Okay.
Anyhow, I'll be 81 this month, and I know I'm going to have to replace my money that I took out of rainy day fund, but after I get that, I've still got about $5,000 left in it. But I'd like to build it up about $12,000 because at my age, anything can happen.
Sure.
So, do you have anything that would be satisfactory after I get this money put back in my savings?
Well, I think what I would tell you, is, you mean just things to invest in? You mean?
No, yeah, just to secure the money and also have it available in case.
Yeah. No, I think the best thing you can do is I assume it's probably in a money market account at the bank, earning nothing, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So, purely from a safety standpoint, I think that's unfortunately as good as it's going to get. I think that you're not going to earn anything, but I think you've already said this. The key is going to be liquidity, so that it's available, so that you can get it out when you need it. If something happens, that's the idea of it. So that emergency fund is, I don't want people to get consumed with making money with that. Just keep it safe. And the safest part is the safest place is going to be in the bank, in a money market account. I mean, you can earn just, it's not earning anything. So I guess you could put it in a coffee can and bury it. But I like, I would put it in there. At least it's FDIC insured for what that's worth. But I would just do that with it. I wouldn't do anything else. I don't think it makes sense to take any kind of risk or have any opportunities for loss on that, since it is your emergency fund. So that's what I think you ought to do with it.
Okay. I thought maybe after I get this savings put back, maybe start trying to repay that
reverse
mortgage. See, I only borrowed $30,000.
Yeah, I would.
$50,000 credit.
Yeah, I would love to see you do that. And the other thing is, since you have some properties there, think about your estate plan as far as who's getting that, and is it in their name? Is it just in your name, and all those kinds of things? So you probably ought to think through that a little bit as well. Well,
I tell you what, I've already got a will made out. I got 5 children.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of them's got a copy of it. Anybody contests the will, they get $10.50 a walk.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I like that. I like that. So,
5 kiddos is going to be a fuss. You know that.
Oh, you know that. You can count on it.
Yeah.
So good. It sounds like you're in good shape. Man, I really I appreciate your heart, and keep on working hard. It's going to keep you young, and keep doing what you're doing. It's great stuff.
God's been good to me. Let me live as long as you have, and still working. And Dan, you'd be surprised how many calls of companies I get every week want me to come work for them.
How about it? Wow. Isn't that great? That is, I'm not surprised, because the companies are getting smarter and smarter and understanding that, there's too much wisdom out there in your generation that they need. Because, this hiring, I got nothing again. I love young people, but, they need some wisdom. And I'm not surprised at all that they're doing that. Well, great stuff. Hoot, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for calling. Love West Texas. Love it. And was out there a couple weeks ago outside of Amarillo. Great stuff. I sure appreciate you calling in. 866-300-9298. You're listening to American Family Radio, Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia. We'll be right back after this.